a man found an old photograph of himself as a very young child and immediately noticed a strange figure standing behind him. A blurred but distinct face, far too detailed to be dismissed as a reflection or camera glare. He showed the photo to his mother, hoping for an explanation. She responded with certainty. On that day, he had been completely alone. That left only one question: who was standing behind the child in the photograph? Since discovering the image, the thought has never left him. What do you think was captured behind him? Write your thoughts in the comments. This photograph captures a family celebration, the father's birthday. Relatives gathered in the house, trying to maintain a warm and joyful atmosphere. Yet an unsettling feeling of being watched seemed to linger in the air. The night before, the family had heard light, quick footsteps upstairs, as if children were running and playing. Everyone assumed it was the friends' kids who were visiting, but one child was asleep downstairs on the couch, and the other was outside with his mother. The homeowner's brother later recalled seeing a dark figure standing on the staircase on the second floor while he was studying on the first. And now, in this photograph, it feels as though someone is once again watching the celebration, as if something from the house's past continues to follow them. What do you think was watching from above? Share your thoughts in the comments. The young woman found this photograph while sorting through an old family album in the attic. Among ordinary images of the past, this picture stood out, dark, cracked with age, yet disturbingly clear. The photo shows her great-great-grandmother holding a small girl, the woman's future grandmother. At first, it appears to be a typical family photo from the early 1900s. But in the center of the image, behind them, stands a third person. The figure does not belong. The face is blurred, the features indistinct, the eyes empty. The expression resembles a motionless shadow caught by accident. No one in the family had ever spoken about this person. No records existed. Even her grandmother admitted she remembered the photograph but could not explain who stood between them. Who do you think this figure was? Write your opinion in the comments. This photograph was taken in the year 2000 inside a pizzeria called The Godfather. According to witnesses who were present in the dining area at the time, the strange, ghost-like figure could be seen not only in the photograph, but also with the naked eye. The image appeared to hover among ordinary customers, creating a sense of unease that was difficult to ignore. People reported feeling an unexplainable presence, as if something invisible had entered the room and refused to leave. The atmosphere changed instantly. Conversations felt heavier, and several visitors admitted later that they felt watched, even after leaving the restaurant. What do you think was seen among the diners that night? Share your opinion in the comments. This photograph was taken in the early 2000s at the Blackpool Wax Museum in the United Kingdom. At first glance, it appears to be an ordinary picture. However, when looking closely at the window above the person's left shoulder, an unexplained face can be seen. The expression is strange and unsettling, as if someone unseen was watching from behind the glass. The face does not resemble any wax figure in the museum and appears distorted, frozen in a way that feels unnatural. What do you think was looking out from that window? Share your thoughts in the comments. The man explained that this photograph was taken by his father when he was still a child. He was simply taking pictures for fun, expecting nothing unusual. When the film was developed, a figure appeared in the image. Clear, recognizable, and completely impossible. It was their neighbor, a man who often visited their home and played with the father as a child. A neighbor who had been dead for 2 years by the time the photo was taken. After that, the father avoided speaking about the photograph. It was as if acknowledging what he saw might allow that figure to find its way back into their home. What do you think appeared in this image? Share your opinion in the comments. She discovered this one photograph deep within her family archives and immediately felt that something about it was wrong. The image showed her great-grandmother's sister standing with a friend, but behind them appeared to be another figure. Blurred, indistinct, watching. She showed the photo to her mother, hoping for a rational explanation. The response was simple, just a trick of the light. 40 days after the photograph was taken, her great-grandmother passed away. Now, every time she looks at the image, she feels the same cold sensation, the same presence that seemed to linger behind the women in the photo. What do you think was standing behind them? Write your thoughts in the comments. This photograph appears to show ghostly faces watching from the historic McPike Mansion in Alton, Illinois. According to local legend, the 149-year-old house is home to numerous spirits, members of the McPike family and their servants. In 2009, investigators from Ghost Lab studied the property, recording EVP sounds and capturing unexplained phenomena on camera. Strange noises, sudden temperature drops, and shadow movements were documented throughout the mansion. This photograph became one of the pieces of evidence suggesting that the old mansion is still inhabited by those who never truly left its walls. Who do you think is still watching from inside the mansion? Write your opinion in the comments. According to the owner of the photograph, it was never meant to capture a boy at all. The image was supposed to show only his sister. The photo was taken in 2014, and for years nothing unusual was noticed. It was not until the spring of 2018, when the mother was looking through old family photos, that she noticed something disturbing deep in the background. A strange boy appeared in the frame, partially hidden, standing where no one should have been. The image was immediately sent to a paranormal specialist for analysis. The response was even more unsettling. The boy had no legs. The family's house had always been considered strange. For years, unexplained events occurred there. Sudden odors with no source, objects moving on their own, constant unexplained sounds, shadowy figures appearing briefly, and a fire alarm that would activate at exactly 2 in the morning. So many things happened that the family even began to wonder whether some kind of portal existed inside the house. There had also been a death in that home. The previous owner had died of tuberculosis, and the house had to be disinfected before the family moved in. The neighboring house, according to locals, also showed signs of paranormal activity. Despite all of this, no one had ever reported seeing a child's spirit in the house. And yet, the image clearly showed a small boy standing silently in the photograph. What do you think appeared in the background of this photo? Write your thoughts in the comments. This photograph was taken late at night at a workplace. Upon closer inspection, several dark human-like silhouettes can be seen in the image. According to the person who took the photo, he was completely alone at the site at that moment. No one else was supposed to be there, and no movement had been heard or seen. The photograph creates a deeply unsettling feeling. The shadowy figures appear motionless, as if hiding within the darkness, silently observing every movement without making a sound. What do you think these silhouettes represent? Write your thoughts in the comments. In 2021, 26-year-old Tyler Caranajos captured a photo at Pine Hill Cemetery in Hollis, New Hampshire, a place known for its grim legends. The chilling image shows a translucent figure standing directly over a grave, its outline faint but unmistakable. Tyler had gone there to visit the resting place of Abel Blood, a man rumored to have been a murderer with ties to the occult. Locals claim Blood's ghost still haunts the cemetery, guarding his grave as if protecting dark secrets he took to the other side. When Tyler reviewed the photo, the air grew cold, and he realized the stories might not have been just rumors after all. In 2008, photographer Neil Sandbach was scouting an English farm for a commercial project. It was an ordinary job, until one photograph changed everything. In the corner of a building, barely visible, stood a glowing figure of a small child. Its outline shimmered faintly, like light trapped in mist. When Neil showed the image to the farm staff, several nodded uneasily. They had seen the same glowing boy wandering the property at night. No one knew who he was, only that he appeared near the old barns, silent, watching, and then gone. This eerie photo was taken moments after a fatal car crash. Rising from the wreckage, a faint white mist seems to take human shape, walking slowly away from the crushed vehicle. Many believe the image shows the exact moment a soul left its body, a silent departure caught by accident, lingering between life and death. This haunting photograph was taken at Tantallon Castle in Scotland. Behind the iron bars of a crumbling window, a face appeared, pale, dressed in what looked like ancient clothing. Yet at the time the photo was taken, the castle was completely empty and closed to the public. Experts analyzed the image and confirmed it was not a trick of the light or a digital alteration. Curious investigators visited the site to test whether a real person could have been hiding there. The only way to recreate the figure's position would have been for someone to kneel in a narrow stone alcove, a space impossible to reach without breaking in. No intruder was ever found. The castle remains silent, but those who visit say they still feel eyes watching them from the windows. In 1924, sailors James Courtney and Michael Meehan, crew members aboard the merchant ship Watertown, died in a tragic steam accident while crossing from New York through the Panama Canal. Their bodies were buried at sea off the coast of Mexico on December 4th. The next day, a sailor shouted that he could see faces in the water. 2 faces, the same men who had just been buried. Over the following days, nearly every crew member, including Captain Keith Tracy, reported seeing the same thing, 2 disembodied faces, drifting just beneath the waves, appearing and fading like ghosts. When the ship docked in New Orleans, the captain was advised to document the phenomenon. He brought a camera aboard, and during the next voyage, the faces returned. Tracy took 6 photos and locked the camera in a safe. Upon reaching New York, the film was developed. 5 of the photos showed nothing unusual, but the 6th revealed the unmistakable faces of Courtney and Meehan, staring from the sea. No editing. No trick. After a new crew took over the Watertown, the faces were never seen again. On October 30th, 2018, around 6:15 p.m., Dave Newnham was inspecting footpaths near the Delago Bridge in Ceredigion, Wales, when he saw a woman standing motionless in the river Wystwyth. Concerned she might be in danger, he approached, but quickly realized something was terribly wrong. The figure was unnaturally still, her pale reflection trembling on the surface of the water. When Dave tried to call out, she simply dissolved into the mist. Shocked, he raised his camera and managed to take 1 photo before she vanished completely. Later, he would tell investigators, "I thought she needed help, but she wasn't human." The man who took this photo insisted that no one was standing in the doorway of his new family home in Chicago when he pressed the shutter. Yet the picture tells a different story. Two shapes appear in the open door, the figure of an elderly woman and the faint outline of a dog at her side. Their forms are hazy, but their presence undeniable. Some believe they were former residents of the property, returning to what was once theirs. Others think they were simply passing through, caught between worlds for a single moment, long enough to be seen, then gone again. This photograph was taken of a window in the old courthouse building in Alabama. At first glance, it looks like dirt or a stain on the glass, until you notice the unmistakable outline of a man's face. Locals claim it belongs to Henry Wells, a slave who once hid in the courthouse to escape a lynch mob. He was caught and killed, but his terrified image is said to have burned itself into the window. Decades of cleaning and replacing the glass never made it disappear. The face always returns, staring out at those who dare to look too long. In Louisiana, there stands a plantation said to be home to at least a dozen ghosts, most believed to be the spirits of enslaved people who once lived and died there. In one photograph, taken by a visitor during a tour, a distant figure can be seen standing in the shadows of a field. The outline is tall and distinctly male, yet the photographer swore no one else was there. Paranormal investigators later confirmed that the spot where the figure appeared aligns with the graves of several workers buried without markers. Even now, guests report footsteps in the grass, whispers near the trees, and a cold presence that seems to follow them back to their cars. In 1916, retired Scotland Yard Inspector Arthur Springer took a photograph in Tinchwick, Buckinghamshire. At the moment the shutter clicked, there was no dog in the frame, yet when the film was developed, the translucent shape of a dog stood clearly in the image. Its body was faint, its eyes dark and sorrowful. Locals whispered that Springer had captured the spirit of a loyal hound that died decades earlier but continued to wander the fields where it once lived. Some claimed the photo was a mere optical illusion. Others insisted it was proof that not all souls, even animal ones, find peace